It's a simpler question, and all of the points are already discussed in many classes. Still, I will give you some specific points and specific statistics which you can use in the answer. See, the context of question is known to all of you. Because since demonetization, in the post-demonetization period, cashless economy was the key word which was discussed in India in different contexts. Okay, some of them are good, some of them are bad, some of them are even foolish. One spokesperson, when asked in a television debate, why HAL, Hindustan Aeronautics Limited, Hindustan Aeronautics Limited is a premier institution, it was not having cash in hand to pay the salary. And this was discussed in a NDTV program, and one spokesperson of one political party said, HAL is not having cash because we are promoting a cashless economy. Okay, so there are foolish contexts, good context and bad context in which this cashless economy was discussed. So you should be knowing most of the things about it. So what are the benefits? Number one, reduced maintenance cost. Why? Because if you have to print currency, that is costly affair. Currency get damaged, then you have to replace it, it's another costly affair. So to prevent fake currency and all, you will have to change the design of currency every few years. It's also costly affair. So there is lot of cost involved in printing the currency and maintaining the currency in supply. Clear? So converting to cashless economy where transactions will be digital. Cashless economy is an economy where most of the transactions are in digital format instead of physical currency. Okay. So maintenance cost is very low. Then there will be increased transparency in transactions. Increased transparency in transactions. See, how is hoarding happening? How is black marketing happening? How is black money being generated? Because we are transacting in cash. If I have 1 lakh rupee with me, I can give it to you without any record if it is in currency, if it is always kept in currency. I can stack some cash under my pillow every day, and it will become a huge amount in the long run. That is how black money is getting generated. Unreported wealth is generated. So, when currency transactions are reduced and digital transactions are increased, there will be more transparency in transaction, more accounts, more details of transaction will be reaching the government properly, and accounting of the wealth with the individuals will be much more accurate. Okay. Then it will lead to increase in revenue income of the government. See, most of the black money is held as gold and land. That was one foolishness of demonetization, because only 12% of black money is held as currency. 88% is held as gold or land. How is this done? When you are purchasing a land worth 1 crore, in the sale deed you will show only 60 lakh. The 40 lakhs remaining amount is paid in cash, and that will be unaccounted transaction. So it will be black money. Okay. Then you purchase gold bar, keep it in your house and sell it later to another individual at higher cost. So the profit generated is not accounted anywhere. It is paid in cash. It is black money. So when this black money generation comes down, all of the income gets reported. When land is sold, if it is property worth 1 crore, you will have to show 1 crore transacted from the seller's account, buyer's account to the seller's account. So the government will be getting tax for 1 crore transaction, and before that government was getting only tax of 60 lakh. Clear? So there will be better revenue income. Then it will lead to better financial inclusiveness. Okay. Why? Because administrative cost at the part of government to have financial inclusiveness will come down. Now if you want financial inclusiveness, how it is to be managed? It is by having bank branch, then having personals appointed for the purpose in the rural area, then currency is transacted to that bank branch. Okay. Currency is physically carried to that bank branch. Now if it is completely cashless, it can be done through mobiles or even kiosks, computer kiosks situated in the village. Okay. It can be developed, this software can be developed in regional languages so that they can handle it by themselves. And there is no currency transaction, it is only transaction of digital data. So there is no need for carrying of all currencies. Then it will also reduce the transaction cost. You can imagine all these factors will play in reduction of transaction cost. So these are the benefits of digital payment systems. Now what are the challenges? Indian economy is a high cash dependent economy. High cash dependent economy. Okay. 12.04% of GDP is the cash flow. Okay. Even if you consider the developing countries, it is the highest. 12.04% of GDP is in cash flow. It is the highest in developing countries. Okay. Then there is this attitude issue. Okay. You can see that ITR. Anyone who has an income or who does not have an income can file an ITR. Okay, even if you don't have an income, you can file a zero ITR. There is provision for that. But people hesitate to file an ITR in India, thinking that tax officials may harass us if we give our records to the tax officials. Okay, this attitude is there in Indian public. Even the business people, they hesitate to declare the income which they are getting because of this fear of harassment from bureaucrats. So this attitudinal problem is there in our public. Okay. Then in digital transactions, merchant discount rate is high. Okay. See, in India, when you buy an object from the market using card, you have to pay 2% as the POS charges. You got it. Suppose I am purchasing a thing of 100 rupees. 2 rupees go to the bank for enabling this digital transaction. This is called as merchant discount rate, the charge which is levied by the bank for digital transaction. It is very high in India. Okay. So if I am buying a product worth 100 rupees, that means either I have to pay 102 rupees, that will be, the consumer will hesitate to do that, or the seller, shop will have to take only 98 rupees instead of 100 and give 2 rupees from his profit. So the merchant will not like it. Either consumer or merchant will dislike cashless transaction in most of the cases because of this issue. Clear? Okay. These are the general reasons. And coming to technical reasons. You know, there is a digital divide. Digital divide in India is very high. What do you mean by digital divide? Digital haves and digital have not. The distance between digital haves and digital have not. Like in case of economy, you say haves and have nots, rich and poor. The distance between rich and poor. And when you talk about digital haves and digital have nots, the distance between those who know technology and those who don't know technology is very wide in India. Okay. So this is the biggest issue which we are facing. It is digital divide. You can use some statistics. See, there was some news that 27% of Indians are internet users. 27% of Indians use internet. Now you see the other side of it. 73% does not have access to internet. Clear? 73% does not have access to internet. Okay? And in urban India, it is 58% people have access to internet. Okay. Now you imagine what will be the average of 73 when it goes to rural India. It will be much more higher. Okay. Now, smartphones. Smartphone use in adults is only 17%. We have reports saying that we have more mobile phones than toilets. Okay, in India there are more mobile phones than toilets. But most of the mobile phones are not smart. They are only second generation mobile phones which cannot handle internet transactions. Okay. And this is the national average, and when it comes to low income families, only 7% have smartphones. Okay. We have 1.02 billion mobile subscriptions. Okay. But out of that only 15% are internet, including internet. Okay. That means 85% of our mobile subscribers are not using internet. Clear? Then our network bandwidth is very low. is very low. It takes average 5.5 seconds for a page load. This is the average page load time in India. After you click a link, it takes 5.5 seconds for the page to get loaded in Indian network on an average. That when you take average, it includes high bandwidth connection which may be used in some companies, as well as lowest bandwidth connection which is there in rural area. So the average is 5.5 seconds. So for the lowest speed internet, you can imagine it may be 15 or 20 or even 30 seconds. Clear? And you can compare it with China. China, it is only 2.6 seconds. Almost half of what we are having, less than half of what we are having. Clear? Then the biggest issue is that number of POS machines. Point of sale machines. POS machine is the swipe machine, which you commonly call a swipe machine, by which you transact money. We have only 856 POS machines per million population. For every million population, we have only 856 POS machines. That means if you want digital transaction to happen everywhere, all the shops should have POS machines, and it is very high mismatch as of now. Clear? You will need your sabji wala, machli wala, chicken wala, all of them should have POS machines. It is a huge gap, 856 per million. Okay. And when we say 856 POS machine, 70% of these POS machines are in 15 largest cities. Okay. So these are main issues due to which there is a challenge for India to become cashless. It is not so easy. It will take at least 10 years by which we can plug all these gaps. We need more POS machines. We need more ATM machines. We need ATM machine is not a compulsion for digital economy, because the transaction does not need cash outtake. Even then, if you need confidence of the individuals to carry the card and decide not to carry money, you should have ATM machines. Then only I will be confident. If I am not confident, I will keep some money as cash. Clear? We should reduce the transaction charges. We should reduce the merchant discount rates. Okay. We should incentivize cashless transaction. Then only we can actually go to a cashless economy. Clear?